You guys want to hear another crazy theory that I've been bouncing around again? I have a lot of bouncy balls in my head. This one actually, and I need to do more research. I'm actually starting to get to the point where I'm ready to do research on it. I was going to finish university. It's just not my thing, man. The learning is my thing. It's the system and the rules and they got a lot of rules. It kind of slows you down. It makes things challenging. Anyways, I want to research this because the more I study ancient cultures and, what limited information they give to the public on the ancient civilizations before Rome. Hang on, I gotta let my dog inside. Okay, so, the more I study these ancient cultures, I'm starting to think that mummification wasn't actually a burial ritual. What if there's knowledge? Well, what if? There isn't a what if. There's definitely knowledge and a lot of artifacts that the public does not know existed, that did exist, that people do know exist, even though they're not sharing that with us. But what I've been shown and what I've seen, I'm starting to think that mummification actually was the process to preserve this meaty flesh sack. Basically, it's like we're almost a cyborg, but we're not. We're like an Avatar, like the movie Avatar. It's a biological, engineered meat suit that consciousness, like the energy that is you, can transport into. And I believe that at some point there's entities that would come back and forth between worlds. But because of biology and atmosphere and, the nature of the system that we create in our worlds, of our realities, it was easier to create a biological life form that they could jump in and out of when they needed to. Probably staying in telepathic communication, like channeled communication, with whoever the priest or priestess was, so they knew when to prepare their avatar for their return. Because I bet you there was a way to relive the body, right? Reanimate it. And it probably had a lot to do with the energy coming back into it as much as whatever they put the body in. Probably some sort of solution. Anyways, it's a theory. I need to do a lot more research, obviously, but I have a very good feeling about this one. Because it just makes so much sense when you hear some of the mythological stories, and if you correlate a lot of all the stories about gods and goddesses, and you start matching the parts that are very similar to almost exactly the same, and then weeding out the small differences that would be based on culture, time, geographic area, translation, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? You can start to see some core, fundamental, interesting similarities. And to me, it honestly does. If you were an alien in the atmosphere which you had to normally live in, say had more nitrogen in it, or it had more whatever, less oxygen in it, or maybe you didn't breathe oxygen, maybe you breathed water, right? Like, who knows? It would be easier for you to teleport your awareness into an avatar made for the place you wanted to go to. Yeah? Because for a lot of these entities out there that we call aliens, these energies, they just think, and they're where they want to go next. They don't have the whole problem of space-time travel that we do, because they understand time doesn't exist. It's like hopping from little pockets of, like, dimension pockets. I'm going to hop here, I'll hop there, I'll hop there. It's like, oh, I go through this door, I go through that door. Started to draw a picture. I had this vision. Actually, I'm walking on this. I don't know. So it's clear, but it's white. I can't even explain it. It's made out of energy, obviously, so it's probably constantly moving. But it's a pathway, and it's kind of weaving through this forest. But the forest is made of these single-stem trees that end in globes, and each globe is a reality. Now, this is just my brain making something, because I also can see it in a more of a pattern web sense too. But when I'm in that part of my consciousness, I don't really have a physical form. I'm more of I'm just there. I don't, I can't explain it. I don't really have a physical, my form changes constantly when I'm in that place. But this place, I had co-created, obviously, with Source to actually give me more of a tangible physical form in my dream space, because I had a body and these realities. It was more fun, right? So instead of it just being like this, energy thing, which is also fun, but this was a different kind of fun. This was more of a creative Alice in Wonderland kind of fun. And I could go around and I could touch a globe and enter this reality or enter that reality. And sometimes you go here because that's where I needed to be, or, it was like they would light up, right? The ones that I needed to go to would light up, and I would go to those ones. And you could always feel them pulling you. It was kind of cool. So yeah. And I think for the longest time, some of the globes had been dimmed out, or perhaps they change over, my awareness as it expands. Perhaps they change which ones light up and which ones are available to light up. I don't know. I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, so just keep that in mind, I guess. I don't know. My idea about body hopping is an interesting theory I want to keep exploring. If you have any interesting ideas like that, I'd love to hear them. I know a lot of people are starting to remember stuff as they expand their consciousness and connect to all their other versions of themselves that are relevant to their highest timeline. You're never going to be able to connect consciously to all the other yous at the same time, I don't think, until they all kind of maybe integrate. I don't even know how that would work. You'd have to expand your consciousness. You probably would no longer be in your body at that point. There's no way you could be in this body, I think, and still have that awareness of all of you. Anyways, but as you expand your consciousness and you do start to become more aware of the other yous and the other realities, you are going to find that you start remembering things and you don't even know why, but it's because you already know them. You learn them in that life, in that reality, in that dimension, timeline, whatever you want to describe it as. Your words, whatever works for you, right? And then these rememberings are going to show you maybe ideas and things that other people would probably kibosh, kind of like my body hopping Egyptian mummification thing. People might be like, oh, that's just crazy talk. Oh, is it though? You know what I'd like to see? One of those bodies just like be reanimated one day, just like pop up, be like, you assholes, if you just left me where I was. I wouldn't have taken so long to come back. Wouldn't that be cool? I think that'd be freaking awesome. Unwrap themselves, be like, damn it, man, this would have been a lot faster if you just left me be. Anyways, share your ideas. I'd love to hear them personally myself, because I think that more and more of us are remembering, and sometimes we think that it's just a crazy imaginary idea in our head, and we don't realize that perhaps it actually is a remembering. And by you sharing your crazy idea, someone's like, I had that idea too, and then I had that idea too. Oh, really? So, like, how many of you magically had this idea out of nowhere at the same time? I wonder where you all remember this from. Dun, dun, dun. Anyways, that's my thoughts for now. I'm going to go have lunch. I'm getting hungry. Actually, that's a lie. I'm actually not hungry, but I know I need food. Yeah, that's more accurate. I should be hungry, so I say I'm hungry. Bananas. Okay, have a great day, guys. Bye.